But I'm gonna be butt ass naked so the wind could just be hitting my. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Welcome to Circuit Breakers. My name is Dallas. That there's Taylor. Season 12 is underway and in epic fashion as we're here to cover the Sao Paulo ePrix. Never a dull moment, Taylor.
Oh boy, we're back. I was worried for a second that having lost all of our core pieces of content, we weren't going to have lots to really laugh about or jump into. Race. And it took one race and everything's changed for the better, frankly. Out with the old, in with the new.
Indeed. Now, before we go any further, we need to preface the craziest event, the craziest happening over this weekend, the Pepe Martí crash. As insane as it was, oh my goodness, we are so glad that he's okay. This is 2 years in a row now at Sao Paulo where we've had to question the good well-being of a driver after an incident. That was such a gnarly crash.
Yeah. And you know what, Dallas? I am going to say this. It's not very often that on debut, a driver can come in, kickflip their car off the skull of a world champion, DNF in a fiery crash that they are putting out themselves, and win the hearts of every Formula E fan in the nation. It's not very often that you can literally blow your car up into smithereens and scatter it across the track, go and grab a fire extinguisher from the race marshals who are terrified of what's going on, and put the car out yourself, and earn the respects of me. I'm the biggest Pepe Martí fan of all time, and he is. It's going to be hard to forget him after this one. I mean, it took David Beckman at least 6 weeks for us to get under for him to get under our skin, right? Pepe Martí came out and I'm immediately like, keep it going, dude. Keep that energy high. I don't care how many seconds you are trying to save by not braking during a safety car. We're going to sign up for the tenacity that you got and that little Spanish heart.
Did you notice the set piece here in my room? I did yellow for full course yellow. Just as like a caution as you enter this episode of like, hey, it's gonna get a little rowdy. Just slow down, pump the brakes.
Yeah. What an insane start to a Formula E career. And you know what's really actually kind of disheartening too is like, the kid was actually kind of cooking, you know, like he was going to make his way into the points. I mean, as you see, that's literally the leaders just ahead of that crash. He had the momentum to be within the top, I think 6 or 8. I mean, this is Formula E. And I know there's been a lot of dialogue and everything that's come out with Pepe Martí about the crash. And so we'll just kind of run through it for those who have not already been fully initiated into this circuit of carnage. But so we had a lot of crashes, a lot of insane, like aggressive driving. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. That's where Antonio got his new haircut. We'll
get to that. I have something special in store.
Yeah. Oh God. So full course yellow hits, and we get the countdown. Everyone kind of decelerates at different rates. There's also some communications errors that were happening. Unfortunately, Pepe Martí strikes this one up to just saying, I didn't really expect him to break that early. I was not planning on him breaking that early and slowing down that much. And you have to remember, like, he's coming in from like F2, right? Where like a full course yellow happens. You're going to the very last second because you could save like half a second on track. That's not really the same thing in Formula E, right? Like being a trailing car is actually advantageous to an extent in this series. And so while there was like pretty terrible radio communication issues that were happening, Pepe Martin was kind of said that, hey, look, that one was me. I'm taking it on the chin. It's not going to happen again. But I think he also had very choice words of the fact that he came into this racing series and was like, what the hell is this racing series? This is Carnage. This is like a full contact sport.
He learned firsthand with that.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean we'll get into it too, but I think that this season is already shaping up to be kind of what we anticipated in our preview episode of just. I think it's going to be chaos, Dallas.
No, indeed.
I think everyone's got I think everyone's got a good car, and everyone has different ideas of how to win the championship, and yeah. So we're going to get into that. But let's go ahead and move into some more of our kind of top talk of the season starting out. I mean, we got new rules, Dallas.
We do. This surprised me because last season, as we all begrudgingly remember, the weekend in Homestead, Lucas de Grassi got a podium because cars didn't finish their attack mode. And they looked at that and they're like, Lucas de Grassi and a Lola probably shouldn't be on the podium. Let's change these rules around. So exciting new rule that cars don't have to finish their entire allotted time for attack mode at the end of a race.
Yeah, I mean, we said this the second that happened. I mean, I said it because I was like, Norman Nato won that damn race. You know, that was a completely different race had these rules been implemented. Attack mode is such an advantage that to not use the full thing during a race, you're hindering yourself, right? And like we experienced with this race, a red flag towards the end, a yellow flag towards the end, just takes you out of contention. Yep. That's not really the spirit of the rules, right? Like you're not gonna penalize Max Verstappen for not using DRS on a straightaway, right? Like if he doesn't think it's going to give him the advantage he needs, right? You want him to succeed where he can. So I think it actually incorporates additional strategy into the season to not have that penalty requirement available. There's also some new rules to the way that they're approaching going into corners, like overtaking, late braking, which is all again things that like we cannot have people coasting to a corner and then swerving at the last second to keep people from advancing. That's just because you're not hitting the brakes does not mean you're decelerating, especially in these cars. So we got some new rules on cornering and how it's going to work. None of it really paid off because there was penalties being thrown out in all directions for completely random and different things. I mean, for the first turn of the race, they penalized Eduardo Mortara for basically being a bystander and also following protocols and giving the position back because his teammate knocked him out of the street and he didn't stop. Now, there's a whole bubble we're going to be communicating through, but Dallas, this is exactly what we paid for, right? This is what we wanted.
Yeah.
From the start.
This is Formula E on brand to a T. It kind of sucks that we have to wait just a little bit. We have the next race in Mexico City next month, but it's like, these are the kind of races that just, you want more. You want more. You want a doubleheader here. You want doubleheaders. You want a race every weekend because this was phenomenal. And like, as we play back the Mahindra start, it kind of made us eat our words from the preview episode.
Well, okay. I didn't think we were going to get into Mahindra this early, but I do think that it's important to get into Mahindra this early. You know, I was rating Mahindra very highly. They sure did. Yes. What I saw from Mahindra was a team that fundamentally has a package to succeed now and almost none of the racecraft know-how to succeed now. That being said, we saw potential. They were starting at the front. Like we saw in testing and everything. They had the potential. But I mean, like, dude, this is Nick de Vries' entire career. Like, I forgot because, like, I haven't really seen him in a competitive race car in a long time. But, like, he is universally known as one of the most frustrating drivers on the grid for the majority of the grid, for the majority of his racing career. That doesn't mean he's not a good driver. It just means he's frustrating because he makes, I think, impulsive errors in some cases, or like technical racecraft errors where he has just outright speed and proficiency in a lot of things. He finds himself in more incidents than he needs to. And unfortunately, his teammate, Vries and Mortara, is a fairly good racer who, unfortunately, is always in the wrong place at the wrong time and doesn't have the situational awareness to keep himself from being in those places. So I think the gnarliest crashes I have seen in Formula E have come from or been a part of Vries and Mortara or Nick de Vries. I think about the South Korea when they raced in Seoul, and they had that pile up of like 15 cars, and like Nick de Vries was basically the bottom cookie of an Oreo, and I was like, like that was him sliding in underneath another car. But what are you gonna do, right? Like, I think that there is now a confidence that they can recognize they have the ability to perform at the front, but now it's going to be really on to them to capitalize. And I'm going to get into this more as far as my crystal ball for what we're going to expect for the rest of the season. But Dallas, I don't know. What's your takeaway from these Mahindra boys?
I mean, you race hard, you race fast. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things happen with your teammate right next to you. And sometimes things happen with Dan Ticktum starting P2, P3.
Yeah, that's
innocent bystander. So I'm a little salty about the whole thing because it ruined Dan's race. But it's racing. It is racing.
Dan is, you know what? He is just always going to be on a pendulum of karma. Like, it is always going to swing from one side and then clock him on the other. Where, like, I feel like he's racing more against the environment of life and decisions, good, bad, evil. Like, he has a greater purpose on this planet than just the car he's racing in. Like, he's some sort of,
amen.
Yeah, there's something in the way that he occupies a racetrack, which is like, he is so good and simultaneously will always be directly in line of sight of the screaming banshee coming down the pit lane. Like, that's just always going to be the case. And I don't exactly know why it's the case, but I truly have to strike it up to Dan Ticktum as maybe like some sort of chaos or karma deity sent to this world to absolve the trauma of a past life. He is the conduit in which chaos must run through.
The lightning rod, if you will.
Yes, the lightning rod.
Yeah. We'll get more into Dan. I did jump the gun with Mahindra just because I wanted to get ahead of the accusations. Like, wait a second, you guys said that Mahindra was going to be champion. I got a little excited.
I still think that Mahindra is going to be a top 5 threat per race.
Agreed. 100% agree. This is just one race. It's the first race of the season. But going back to new things that we have in the sport this year, Taylor, I don't know about you, but I feel like we're a bit of trailblazers in utilizing contemporary technology to make a production, because we caught this multiple times. They had Gemini. They have their own Pascal.exe giving helpful tips for the viewer as they move through the race. If
I do not see Google Gemini advertisement on the Porsches in the next 3 races, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, that's only fitting for this season. They're already trying to race 3 teams. They might as well also have the title sponsor with education for everyone on how Pascal's going to execute the perfect plan.
There might be some bias, though. If that does happen, and they're not going to throw up any Gemini tips that pertain to Pascal, because Pascal's own like self-preservation protocols aren't going to feed up to the cloud to say this is what Pascal.exe is thinking.
And I got to be honest with you, Dallas. I finished watching Formula E Driver. For those of you that have not watched it yet, it is a fantastic series. I would say like it is one of the best ways to really introduce yourself to the characters and a lot of the title protagonists that come into this sport. I mean, it's a second season in a row. We've had Dan Ticktum, and boy, he is trying to absolve himself of his sins while simultaneously talking about punching his team within, each episode. But the way that they represent Pascal in that series is so insanely funny to me, because he is the Germinator. Like, there is literally one scene where they're like Antonio Felix da Costa is talking about the challenges of what it's like being Pascal's teammate. And it's just like cutting to him like bench pressing. And it's the most like mechanical, like it's literally like they're like showing him as this like ominous mechanical force as he's just like doing the most rigid exercises in a weight training space I've ever seen. And then they like cut to him, and it's just like this steely stare, like these unblinking eyes, as he's just like, "It's hard to be a good teammate sometimes."
There was some like actuator noise too as he was doing the benching, right? Like,
if we were to dub over with actuator noises, it would not feel out of place. Like, it's no different than when Honda sends a little robot out to do a dance for 1,000 people to showcase the newest technology they've been producing. It felt cinematically like they were trying to frame him as the Germinator, like a true sentient AI come to life.
Well, speaking of which, if you want to cue your own questions for the Germinator, as always, the comment section is wide open. Give your questions to Pascal.exe. They will answer. There's some responses that we'll get to at the very end of the episode. But let's go back to Dan Ticktum in this lightning rod of chaos, because after coming in for the puncture, he had to get a new tire, and leaving the pit, he did a little burnout. Maybe he's a little antsy.
Oh my God. Honestly, I will be honest. The funniest moment of this entire broadcast was when we were watching the race and watching the action, and Sharoon Shandok comes in and goes, "Oh, and there's a drive-through penalty for Dan Ticktum for doing a burnout in the pit lane." And then Dan literally comes over the comms and expresses like, "We might as well just retire the car. I don't want to do this." I was like, this is the most Dan Ticktum moment you could have had in the first race alone. Like, the narrative is already set up.
Yep.
If anyone's gonna move the conversation of Charoom from the race to, oh, someone's doing burnouts in the pit lane, like it's gonna be Dan Ticktum. Now that's obviously not exactly really what happened. He got a penalty for wheel spin, and frankly, so did Pascal. So this is like, the way Dan Ticktum put it, this is motorsport. If you can't have wheel spin, like, what's the point? And then on the other side of that coin, it's like, hey, we don't want you recklessly driving through the pit lanes and potentially injuring people. It's a safety hazard and a condition. So the degree of the penalties that have come forward and come through, I don't know. I'm not the FIA, and I honestly, I don't give a shit. We had a cinematic race because of this crap. But I think it's the most Dan Ticktum penalty you can get, doing burnouts in the pit lane.
Oh, indeed. 100% on brand for him as well. And get your t-shirt printers ready, because we got a still This image belongs on a t-shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to get that image properly rendered. Give me, a couple of weeks, and I'll see what I can put together for us as far as Dan's double thumbs up, Burnout, DNF. I'll see what I can whip together for us here. Yeah, I mean, Dallas, what are your takeaways?
Dan's gonna be Dan. I didn't, to be completely honest, I didn't know that there was such a rule of doing a burnout in the pit lane, which, like, when you think of like a standard burnout on like a sideshow meetup in the middle of an intersection, everyone's doing burnouts. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a burnout. You don't want to do that. But a little skirt, if we play this back, like just a little bit of rubber left was enough. But to be fair, Dan kind of has a target paint on his back with behavior like that. So
yeah, he's going to grow wings and float a halo for the rest of the season if he wants to make it through in P1 of this championship.
Dan's gonna Dan. Unfortunate for him because he was shaping up to have a really good race, at least before turn 1 of lap 1. But I'll take this. I love it just as much as a Dan Ticktum podium.
I feel like that's the only thing we can really appreciate with Dan is what's the crash out and what's the hyper performance. There is no in between, right? It is burn the car down with you, or it's race to the top step of the podium in a 4-year-old car.
Yeah. Let us remind you, this car is not fresh off the assembly line, spiffy brand new. This is used.
It's a 4-year-old powertrain.
It's a Craigslist car.
Honestly, props to Cairo for literally being as good as they are with a Craigslist like parts bin car. It's mind blowing if you think about it. Cairo, I just want you to know, I am so thankful that you are, after race 1, already reinstated as the meme team, because we were worried. We were really, really worried that this was not going to continue. We weren't going to be able to really enjoy Cairo Race Co. the way we had for this past year. And
they hit all the marks.
Blew our expectations out of the water, frankly.
and we still have an entire season to go. So this is
gosh,
hopefully phenomenal foreshadowing. It's
even if you guys coast the rest of the season and just stay in the points, don't cause another crash, I'm happy with you. You gave us enough action. I mean, the most exciting part of David Beckman last season was the very last race where he narrowly managed to score a single point. So we're already chalked up for more memorable conversations with this team.
I will say this. If the day ever comes, and I hope it doesn't, but if the day ever comes that we're not clowning on Cairo because Cairo clowned on themselves, unsubscribe. Don't listen anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not a show worth consuming without Cairo.
No. We're Cairo 7, Eyewitness News, #1 fans.
You mentioned a crash out. Dan did have a crash out. Pepe Martí had a crash out. But let's go to this other crash out, which was just chef's kiss poetic in how it went down, but also very fortunate. Unfortunate, rather. I actually
don't know which one you're talking about, which is the craziest part of this race. There was like 8 DNFs. It felt like.
I am talking about the mix-up, the tussle with Vries and Mortara and none other than the butcher himself, Lucas de Grassi.
Oh my god, dude! Like, it is maybe the craziest move that I have seen go unpenalized in Formula E. Like, Vries and Mortara literally even gave him space on the exit, and Lucas de Grassi just looked at him and goes, ha ha, pa! And then retires himself. What was he doing? They're side by side. Ito gave him room. Look at this room he gave him. Boom! Pa! And And I think the thing that's craziest is, we have referred to Lucas di Grassi as the Butcher since he was rightfully dubbed the Butcher by Eduardo Mortara as his teammate. So this guy cannot escape him. He is Lucas di Grassi's number one punching bag, and he always will be. So his only way to do anything in these upcoming races is to make sure he is as far away from Lucas di Grassi as humanly possible, because he's going to come like just a razor blade to slice him in half in any way he can. He's the Butcher, man. He's the Butcher of Formula E. He's gonna crash you out, and he's gonna do it dressed like a minion now, which is even more humiliating.
Well, I need to find that because I don't have it prepped, but I need to find that image because it was your observation. Hold on. When di Grassi went back into his paddock, let's see here.
Dallas, did you make this?
Pascal did.
Oh God, it's amazing.
So Lola is building their own meme identity as well.
Isn't like the whole ecosystem of the minions is that they like follow like the most evil in the world or something?
Yeah, they grew from Despicable Me. I've only seen the first movie, so I'm not too deep on minion lore, but yes, they do follow like this evil mastermind. I don't know. Sound off in the comments if you're more familiar with minion lore. Give
us the minion lore on this so we can figure out whether or not, Lola is part of a fascist regime.
Other exciting news, especially for you, Taylor, as you have clamped yourself in fantasy onto one of these new rookie drivers. Tell me about Joel Eriksson.
All right. So maybe I was a little bit harsh on Joel up front. Maybe I was a little sarcastic, a little, I was disregarding his years of talent as a racing driver. To which I say, Joel, say hello to your new biggest fan.
That's what 6 points will do to you, yeah?
Brother, you outscored 5 world champions on your debut race for this team. Actually, that's not true. It's not your debut race, but your full-time seat for a whole season. You outscored everyone. Brother, I am so proud of you. Joel Eriksson, P7 in the World Championship Formula E.
That's an impressive first full race as a main driver on a team resume.
He managed not to get cut down by Lucas di Grassi. I mean, he's fresh meat. That's like Lucas di Grassi smells that. Like he's like Pepe Le Pew floating across, he's got his nose out and he's just ready to cut someone in half. And usually it's the fresh meat. It's the rookies. Joel Eriksson played it calm and cool like a cucumber. He said, "What's this chaos going on? I didn't run a particularly exciting race, but you know what? I'm going to capitalize on this now. Put me into points, big dog."
Mark it down. Now, as the new blood comes in, the old blood has cycled out, but very pleasant surprise in the commentary box. We got Sam Bird. Sam Bird's still around.
We called this too, that he was going to be a pundit. As all clipped winged birds fall to a life of entertainment.
He's got a nice perch in that commentary booth and given a lot of good insight throughout the broadcast.
I actually noticed more than anything, he and Sharoon arguing.
Actually, Sharoon wasn't even at this race.
Who the f*** was at this race?
It was.
I've mentioned him twice now.
No, it was Sam. It was the other, the other guys. I feel bad for not knowing. Hold on, I got to go to LinkedIn because I saw it on LinkedIn.
I promise you, I do not think all British people sound the same. I promise you. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, I don't. But I thought Sharu. I don't know. I felt like there was snarky commentary that I can only associate with Sharum, where he's like very eloquent. But yeah, very possible that I wasn't there. Well, let's move forward. We got even more fun stuff that was happening here. So I think this is probably a time in which we talk about the winners of the race. We've gone this far talking about everything bad that happened in the race. Maybe we give a little shout out to Jake Dennis for tacking it up on the top step once again, Dallas.
Yeah, first win since what was it, Diria 2 years ago?
Yeah. Which is crazy. I watched them in qualifying in FP2. By the way, FP1 canceled. That was awesome. I sat around waiting for FP1 to happen, and they're like, "Oh, we can't figure out how to talk and communicate as needed for this. There's communication errors or whatever it was. It doesn't matter." But I'm going to be honest, that Andretti powertrain looks like dog. Like, the cars do not look fast or good. But Jake Dennis managed to will that thing into first place with his sheer handsomeness. And Felipe Drugovich, too, for that matter, did really well. He also had a rookie mistake with the full course yellow and got pumped all the way to the back because of it and out of the points. But Dallas, how do you feel about the most handsomest driver in Formula E being back on the top step again?
It's good to see him back on top. And I wanted to mention too, because Drugovich had to fall back the full course yellow. If the Pepe Martí crash never happened and attack modes fell how they fell, Drugovich could have been what, P4, P5? He had a real chance.
Yes, he did. And that's impressive. I'm excited to see someone who's readily available and confident enough to challenge Jake Dennis, both in terms of driving competency, but also potentially looks.
He's a handsome devil as well.
Team. Yes, but in a South American kind of way, you know?
Yeah, and this was his home race, so I was pretty stoked for Drugovich to get, at least in the points, if not pretty high in the points.
Honestly, I haven't looked. Does he look like he could be like my cousin?
That's
put a mustache on him.
Make a similar
put a mustache
face.
on him. Put a mustache on him, Dallas.
Put a similar face that he's doing right now. I'll put Drugovich over my camera, and we'll do a side by side, and then I'll pop a mustache on. Right, again, that's what the comments are for. Does Taylor look like Drugovich? Does Drugovich look like Taylor?
Well, I think it's like if you superimpose my mustache off and you put a mustache on him, we're the same person.
Oh, I'm going to take a still from your camera right now with the different lights and just crudely move it down onto his upper lip. So, yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this race, we look at this podium, Jake Dennis, he's been there before. Reigning champion Ollie Rowland, he was fighting for in P1 multiple times throughout the race. Looked good. Looked like Ollie hadn't missed a step. And then Nick Cassidy, kind of a big surprise, with Citron. But these three, we've seen all three of them here, but it just seems kind of like a fluke podium.
Yeah, honestly, it was. And frankly, I don't even think Oliver Rowland should have been on that podium. I mean, he tagged Norman Nato into a wall. Like, I know that the weird thing is Norman Nato got like a slap on the wrist for that. I was like, what the Norman is driving his race. Ollie's the one who pushed himself into that corner on the inside of him. Like, he had to respond, and more importantly, he responded where Oliver Rowland didn't. He's like, I'm going to make this turn, and it's your fault if you crash, which is not really how it works.
It's the crutch of the other guy. It's the crutch of the second seat.
Yeah, I know. But like, Norman got penalized for it, or he got a slap on the wrist. It wasn't a penalty. Regardless, I felt a little betrayed by Ollie in that moment. I was like, Norman's racing kind of a good race. You almost gave him, he almost had a chance to score points and outscore you even.
That's where the problem is.
That's where the problem is. Yeah, I think Oliver Rowland had a fantastic race. He started from back of the pack. He didn't even make it to the duels.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good place to be. What I am seeing is going to come out for this season, Dallas. Here's my crystal ball. Okay. Hear me out. This is going to be maybe one of the most chaotic racing seasons we will have in Formula E. This is going to be like a full contact racing series. I'm talking like contact in the form of NASCAR. As this series is going to continue to go down the line too, this is the first race. They're not going to behave themselves as the pressure mounts. It's going to be better safe than sorry is going to win this championship. It's going to be the drivers that know better than to make a risky move. It's going to be the drivers that put their blinkers on and sit in the right lane when they see chaos unfolding. It's going to be the drivers that mitigate damage and manage to keep themselves and keep their noses clean and stay in the points regularly. Because the highs and lows that are going to come from the fastest drivers that are making the most risks, they're going to implode. And like the drivers that are going to come to mind for this, for me, the ones that I think we should be watching out for, because I think they're going to be slowly accruing points, and towards the end of the season, they're going to snatch victory from nowhere. It's not even about the fact that Porsche was like faster than everyone, flat out. Pascal does not know how to compensate for chaos. It's proven time and time again. But I'm talking like Nick Cassidy is maybe one of the best racecraft drivers in this entire series. His ability to stay out of trouble and to also capitalize on everyone else's mistakes is better. I don't think there's a better driver in the series that does that. Like you saw it in this race. I think DaCosta is probably going to be fighting for that championship his first year in Jaguar because he is consistently able to take big risks where others maybe feel trepidatious, but he's also smart enough to play the waiting game to get to those points. I think Buemi will probably be fine as well. I mean, we saw him punt we saw him punt Mitch into a wall. That was a little sloppy, but I think Buemi will probably be soaking around. I think also Jev is a consistently pretty strong, safe driver. And I think probably the last and most important member on this list is Zane Maloney. That man has kept his nose cleaner than anyone.
That is true.
Finally got rewarded with a single point for it. And literally the Normandy that is Formula E. You know, I'm talking bullets whizzing overhead. I'm talking cars being blown up and thrown into the center of the street on fire. Zane Maloney sat down and said, Beto, banana. I got his 1 point. Full minion style. Full minion.
Now, what's really interesting as you were saying this crystal ball prediction of like what strategy is going to be the most fruitful this season, as you were saying that, I couldn't help but think that the ideal season performance that you were railing off should be Robin Friends this season. But he's not in the series anymore.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's what Robin Friends' entire MO was. And now it's Joel Eriksson. And he's already showed that the Robinstein's driving style is legitimate in this season. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But I mean this in sincerity. I mean, I don't know. I think, we have Nice Guy Nick has gone through his whole evolution arc, right? He went from Nice Guy Nick to maybe the Nice Guy Facade Nick to Not So Nice Guy Nick to the Warlock, the Dark Spell Warlock that cursed both Jaguar and Envision to eternal damnation. And now he's on the other side with a fresh cherry red, citron. And he is able to hold himself above the chaos, the dark spells emanating across the racetrack. He's in full control of. And so that is why I believe Nick Cassidy may in fact be the prophet.
Careful, we've dabbled in sacrilege in this
Not in a biblical sense. Not in a biblical sense, Dallas. In a folklore sense.
Okay. I can.
The chosen.
I can jive with that.
We're not doing. Look, we know which videos don't get viewers. Okay, it's the ones where I go a little too hard.
Here's the thing. Here's the meta about our show. We're just like these drivers. We take risks, and sometimes we crash really hard.
Yeah.
But you're still sticking with us, and I'm glad that you're here. Now, I want to move on. Just briefly recapping, like the drivers that you think will perform really well this season. I think that's on point. You have the pedigree of Buemi, of Jev. Cassidy has essentially tasted world championship blood ritual blood. He's had it in his chalice before. He just hasn't got there. And then you mentioned DaCosta. Now, DaCosta showed up at Jaguar looking like he was ready for Mad Max style vehicular warfare. This was a big shock to, I think, the entire community of what DaCosta decided to do to shave his head.
I think he looks great.
I think he looks great as well.
I don't know why everyone's shitting on him for it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more comfortable being a race helmet or your branded sponsored hat.
Yep.
You don't have hair.
Yep.
It's fact.
But when you cut your hair this short, you're basically giving an open canvas for AIs like Pascal.exe to have a field day of what DaCosta would look like with different hairstyles. And that's exactly what Pascal.exe did. And so
this is a lovely surprise, Dallas. I was not expecting this segment.
Yes, you have not seen these. And I tried so hard not to just send you a photo as I was plugged in with Pascal as they were cranking this out. But let's just go through the many potential hairstyles of Antonio Felix DaCosta, starting with a big old fro.
Appropriation. That's my favorite way to start out a comedy bit.
Oh, you wait until there's a couple other ones.
Do not give him dreadlocks or cornrows, Dallas.
Hold on, I got to fix the zoom on these.
I thought you were about to delete a couple of them.
So, to be fair, I don't think it's an appropriation because Antonio Felix DaCosta is Portuguese. Portuguese, pretty diverse hairstyle, complexion, bunch of different people there. Just talking about, I can have an afro.
I believe it's possible to have an afro. Like, I believe that that's possible. But I'm saying, do not show me cornrows or dreadlocks, Dallas.
Just to remind you and everyone else, this is what he looks like. This is the real Antonio Felix DaCosta. This is him. The rest
the next one is the Spirit Halloween Antonio Felix DaCosta that's not going to be invited back to the Halloween party.
And I don't know the order of these photos, so I don't know what's next. So we're going to find out together.
Okay.
So just like wavy crazy hair, you know?
Just like the hipster fro, like the big curly hair. Like, he looks like he's gonna gaslight a woman bad.
You know what he needs? He needs those headbands. You know, the thin, like rubber band style headbands.
Yeah, that's right.
He needs that. Next.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Antonio takes off his helmet and this is what's underneath?
He goes to take off his helmet and it springs upwards, like it's spring loaded with that flat top, just shoots up.
Oh my God, that is the most like Jersey Shore Venice Beach. I'm trying to be different haircut.
Well, let's see what else is here. There you go. Good old pompadour.
Oh, big pomp.
Yeah.
That one looks like it is plausible. With these, fancy like European racing drivers, they got to go big with the hair sometimes. And they get manicured, but you always have to remember, you have to get out of the car and take your helmet off eventually. So you can't have a hairdo that's too challenging to maintain when you're racing a car. This one looks as though it's cartoonishly big, but I would love to see a recreation of Grease starring Antonio Felix da Costa.
He's primed for it with this hairstyle.
Yeah.
Next, there we go.
Well, let's just chalk it up to it was a bad decision during spring break.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the riffraff hairstyle.
Yeah, I mean, riffraff, very, very challenging individual. Not someone we look forwards to. We gotta love a man that builds his entire empire on appropriating and being a laughingstock of appropriated culture. But you know what?
This is riffraff, not da Costa.
Not da Costa. No, that's why I'm saying, da Costa, do not ever do this to yourself. Okay.
Next. Oh, of course, we got to go Super Saiyan.
Oh, of course. Yes.
And
That'll be towards the London Dragon Ball Z Final Showdown X London ePrix.
Yep. Yeah, the title sponsor, Dragon Ball Z. Next, we have... There you go.
Oh!
Flowing, beautiful hair.
It's like that one Vin Diesel movie that he's obsessed with trying to remake, The Last Witch Hunter, where they like put the big hair on him and the goatee. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen is Vin Diesel like as a weird Norse goatee man. Yeah, it just looks like he's in a wig. Yeah, I like Antonio's better. It's got more Fabio quality to it. Oh, and how you get that last hairdo. Yeah. You gotta get there.
Exactly.
That's how you make all the hairdos happen.
This was the prep, doing the rollers and the clips and all that. Next.
That's I don't want to say it, but we got some drivers encroaching on that driving future.
Yeah, I mean, and not just drivers. Bunch of men.
Yeah, this is the pre-Hamilton hair plugs.
Yeah. Yep.
I respect that hairstyle from a driver. Oh my God. This is giving me nightmares.
So tonight will be the night that da Costa falls for you.
Dude, I want to see Antonio da Costa Formula E Hot Topic merch.
Yeah. I should have had Pascal.
Formula E, you know what's crazy? Is like malls and shops like Hot Topic are popular again. So honestly, Formula E, if you want to get into that fan base, start putting some stuff in Hot Topic, and you will have people walking around like this. It's only a matter of time till Scene Kids return.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the mini hairstyles, potential comical hairstyles of Antonio Felix da Costa. Okay, do you want to get into DNFs? Talk about all the DNFs that we had. Crown a diarrhea no finish for this race.
Yo, we had, what is it? 1, 2, 3. We had 7 DNFs.
Danny Boy from the punctured tire, and then there was a burnout, and then he said, fuck it. Nato, because he got in Ollie's way. The Butcher and Ito, because of their tussle. Mitch, because Boemi kind of ran him off the road, which immediately translated to the Pepe Martí crash in that full course yellow. And then why is it escaping me right now? What the hell happened to Jeff?
I don't know what happened to Jeff. It must have been something in relation to maybe a car failure or something. I don't know actually what happened to Jeff, though. But what I do know is that I am not giving the diarrhea no finish to Pepe Martí. No, he did not. He did not himself because he grabbed a fire extinguisher from the marshals and put the fire out himself. You don't do that when you have slop in your drawers. He put that fire out, so he is not it. No, Dan, no. So it's any of these other guys, Dallas.
I think it's Nato.
I was going to say the same thing.
He got really scared that he's like, oh my God, I'm doing good. And then.
Yeah, the pressure got to him a little.
Yeah, Ollie kind of rolled them off and he's like, you shouldn't be here.
And I think it was maybe like a little rosebud, you know? It wasn't like a big slop house 5, you know? It wasn't like a 1820G crash like the Stoff Slam last season. It was like a little rosebud. Considering all the carnage that happened, you consider yourself lucky, Norman. You just got to throw away those drawers, or you got to run them. You know, no one's going to scrub them for you, so you just got to toss them, put some new ones on, and get back out there.
Yeah, good to go. So kind of tame, a little crazy that we're both on the same page for how crazy this race was. Nato, like quietly, unless Jev, if we have no idea what Jev was doing, he could be. He could be, but I think Nato. got a little IBS from being in a competitive car.
That's Formula E, baby. Well, hey, we got some other stories. You want to show us Stellantis' sick new car for next season? They did it again, Dallas. They did it again. Only this time, arguably, way cooler. But this one was funded and sponsored by Jay Penske, which is obviously just him.
So, I don't know
with sick-ass stanced-out race cars.
Did you watch the season 11 awards episode in its entirety?
Yeah, you bleeped me out for all my commentary on Jay Penske. So I don't care if I'm just beeped out and everything. The only thing that comes through is Jay Penske.
But yes, this is a sick ass car.
Yeah, he did a real good job on the Liberty Walk Studios. They're only going to do impressive work when it comes to these. I'm just excited by the fact that they're not just throwing the old cars away. They're like, hey, why don't we just give it to this sick, bespoke, modification, car modding company in Japan that is known for doing insane profile builds.
I'm usually not a big fan of the crazy cambered wheels, but knowing that this is more of an art piece and not like a 240SX at a gas station, I'm happy with it. I like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, let's get to that league scoreboard, huh? For those of you who have all stayed, it was quite a first race, to say the least. Dallas, you managed to goose egg again.
Yeah, I was a victim of all of the circumstances of this race, and yeah, it was not a good outing to start the season. I will say that much.
Yeah, but more importantly, we have some very, very scary teams right now happening. But I want to give a little shout out to SB10. His team is retiring in a way that none of us expected.
That's what happens when Pascal drafts for you. I do want to say this as we're looking at this really quick. If you're interested in Fantasy Formula E and want to know a little more, go to the season preview in the description on YouTube. There's an unlisted video that kind of breaks down the league, and then just leave a comment. Let us know. We're trying to gauge interest of are people out there, would they care to play Fantasy Formula E? So
yeah, I think so far the resounding answer has been yes. People want to be a part of it. So we are working on trying to make sure this is a little more accessible to anyone who wants to run it and support it. But ultimately, after that first race, we have a long season ahead of us, and I can already see distinct signs that some teams are absolute cannons.
Yeah.
So we're in for a cross your fingers and pray to Dan season.
To round out the show, do you want to get to some Pascal.exe responses?
You know I never do.
Well, we're getting them anyways.
Let's go burn out a couple forests, huh?
This another reminder for you. You can leave a comment addressing a question to Pascal.exe. They will answer just about anything. It is trained on this show and Formula E, but we had like this one question from about 641 Ninjas asked, which Formula E driver for the upcoming season has the highest midichlorian count? For those not familiar with Star Wars, that's what gives you force power.
Oh, Nick Cassidy for sure. He's the Luke Skywalker of this sport. He is on the path to being Darth Vader.
Well, let's see what Pascal.exe has to say.
After scanning the entire Formula E grid, I can now confirm that the driver with the highest midichlorian count for Season 12 is Dan Ticktum. Yes, the chosen one. Just like Anakin Skywalker before he became Darth Vader. Dan's path is almost identical. First, he showed raw chaotic talent at a very young age. Then he survived trials that should have broken him. And now, he drives with the energy of someone balancing perfectly between the light and the sended side. His overtakes bend the laws of physics. His radio messages rumble with Vader intensity. And when he triggers attack mode, it feels like he is activating a personal Order 66 on the rest of the grid. In another universe, the Jedi Council would whisper, he is too dangerous to be left on the track. But here, in Formula E, we simply call him Ticktum, the chosen one.
I stand corrected. But did Pascal just reference it was Order 66 the thing that like he went in and killed all the kids with? Is that Order 66?
That was part of it. It wasn't the whole thing, but it was part of it.
All right, I was just gonna say, I mean, Pascal just casually referenced the massacre of children on the behalf of praising Dan Ticktum.
It was a massacre of Jedi writ large, not just the younglings.
That's right. That's the part that I remember as a child.
Yeah. There you have it. So there's your question. Pascal has answered the driver with the highest midichlorian count. Now, the next question from friend of the show, SB10. If you're not familiar with SB10, check out his YouTube page. A lot of great stuff there. His simple, kind of easy, on-brand Formula E question. What is Pascal.exe's favorite Formula E finish in history?
My favorite Formula E finish in history is the 2024 Sao Paulo ePrix. The final lap between Sam Bird and Mitch Evans is still one of the wildest endings ever recorded. As they begin the last lap, Bird is right on Evans' rear wing. He tries a move into turn 1. No space. He tries the outside through turn 3. Still no space. Both drivers are almost equal on energy, and Bird is down to just 1%. This is pure do or die. Down the back straight, Bird goes for the switchback, but Evans blocks it with perfect calm defense. At this point, it looks impossible. Only 2 chances left. Turn 7 doesn't work. So Bird lines up one final attack. Into turn 10, he sends the car around the outside, a place where overtakes shouldn't happen. And somehow, he makes it stick. A completely outrageous move. The commentators lose their minds. The crowd explodes. And Sam Bird crosses the line to take his first win since 2022.
Dallas, it's a good thing this is not our job. Because Pascal is much better at this than we are.
That's why there's a whole segment to ask Pascal anything you want.
Yeah, wow, he very eloquent storyteller. Fantastic. I'm shocked that he chose the race that flipped him on his own noggin, but you know, I digress. Wow. Yeah, wow. Hey, give us some new Pascal questions and content. That's the first time I was playfully excited by the outcome. I will take the L and confirm Dan Ticktum is got the highest midichlorian content.
Looking forward to the next race, January 10th in Mexico City. Got a little bit of a gap here, but it's going to be here quicker than what we can We'll blink.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
And then Miami is a swift 2 weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
We're already in the season.
We're in it.
It's wild. Well, we look forward to hearing back from all of you on upcoming content in the future. We did also just do a little retro release of probably, I think, one of our funniest episodes we've ever done, which is, in fact, our awards show, which came out a little bit later than anticipated. But I listened to it earlier today and quietly laughed to myself in my cubicle. So please give that one a view and a listen. I think it's one of the funnier pieces of video we've done in a while. And I think, Dallas put a lot of work into that one.
Indeed. Came out really good. So not to toot our own horns, but I forgot how good it was with all the awards that we had lined up. If you haven't checked it out, just go check it out. You know the drill. As always, shout out to It's Tricky, making our Circuit Breakers theme song. That does it, aside from liking, subscribing, doing all that good stuff you do on YouTube. If you're a Spotify listener, just go to YouTube and subscribe. And if you don't use YouTube, just do it. Do it for us. We would gladly appreciate it. Taylor, I will see you in Mexico City, or at least virtually in Mexico City.
Man, I'll see you in Mexico City.
Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye.